What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Do You Want More, a UFC stat show here on the Monk Maddox channel. I am your host, Monk, aka Monk Master Flex, and let's get right into it. This video is breaking down the Nico Montaño Wu Yanan fight on this Saturday's upcoming card, UFC Fight Night, Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. So, all that said, Nico Montaño, why do I keep doing that, against Wu Yanan. This is going to be a women's bantamweight fight. Nico 5'5", 65-inch reach. Wu Yanan 5'8", 66-inch reach. Nico is gonna be, what is that, 7.5 years older than Wu Yanan. Ass whoop index in the bantamweight division 4.58. For Montaño, going against a negative 3.38 for Wu Yanan. Neither fighter has a knockdown, and neither fighter has been knocked down. Let's see. Fight odds. Nico Montaño opened at the number one highest, with the number one highest fight odds of the whole card at a minus 225. She's now sitting at a minus 231. Wu Yanan opened at plus 190, and she is currently at plus 184, so not hardly any movement there. And this fight is a minus 265 to go to decision. Let's go down to fight finishing data. Nico Montaño I didn't even give you guys the records here. Sorry about that. Montaño is 5-3 professionally. Let's see here. 2 KO TKO wins, and she's 1-1 in the UFC, while Wu Yanan is 11-4 professionally, 7 TKO wins, 2 submission wins, and 1 KO TKO loss. She is 1-3 in the UFC, so not off to a great start in her UFC career. Let's see, no finish wins or losses for Montaño. Wu Yanan has finished her only win in the UFC by submission. She also has, let's see, 2 unanimous decision losses and a split decision loss. All of Nico Montaño's wins and losses, or both I should say, have come by decision. Here is the graphical analysis of everything I just talked about. So not much there, but more than we have been able to see in these past few fights. Striking data. 5.6 significant strikes landed per minute for Nico Montaño at a 42% accuracy rate. That is good for 5th in the division and 16th in the division, respectively. Let's see, Wu Yanan, 4.5 significant strikes landed per minute at a 45% accuracy, so not terrible numbers there. Let's see, Nico Montaño, 4.43 significant strikes landed against. Sorry, I have something in my eye. 4.43 significant strikes landed against per minute at a 64% defense. That defensive percentage is good for 2nd in the division, so very good there. And Wu Yanan, a few more significant strikes landed against per minute than Montaño at 4.82 at a 51% significant striking defense. Let's see, our significant strikes landed per minute differential, negative 0.31 for Wu Yanan and 1.18 for Nico Montaño. So Nico's definitely got the better striking numbers there. Her accuracy is not quite as good as Yanan, but everything else is what? I mean, top 5 in the division. So I only have 23 women's bantamweights in my division, or in my database currently, but she is top 5 in most of those statistics that we like to see. So pretty good numbers there. Just what you would expect from somebody like Nico Montaño. Like we said earlier, no knockdown data. We have nothing in this category for or against. Takedown data, let's check that out. 6 of 11 for Nico Montaño, 54% accuracy, and she has stuffed 9 of 13 takedowns for a 69% accuracy. We like to see that. Good numbers there. She's right at that 70% defensive rate. 2 for 9 landed for Wu Yanan. That is a 22% accuracy rate, and she has stuffed 10 of 15 takedowns for a 66.67% defensive takedown rate. Takedown shooting rate 1.85% compared to 2%, so pretty close there. And both of their opponents like to shoot on them more than they shoot on their opponents. Takedowns landed per 15, good number here for Nico Montaño, 2.25, and she throws just over 4 per 15. Wu Yanan significantly lower in both categories. Takedown per 15 differential is positive for Nico Montaño, 0.75, and negative, almost -1 for Wu Yanan. So not something you want to see out of Wu there. Control time data. Nico Montaño controls 31% of her 20 minutes of fight time, and she has gotten control just under 20% of that 20 minutes. Looks like she controls almost an entire round per 15, whereas Wu Yanan 19.35% control time for, 21.33% control time against. She controls 2.9 minutes out of 15 minutes on average for her fights. Let's see here. Get up time for Nico Montaño, 35.54. So not a great time, but good for fourth in the division. And Wu Yanan, 41.8 seconds, right behind her for fifth in the division. Hold down time, 67.5 compared to 63.2. So very, very close there. And the control time activity rate, that's a stat I came up with the help of my good friend, Digital Monster. It's basically, what do you do when you're in control? Are you holding guys or girls, ladies, against the cage? Are you just taking breathers? Are you on the ground just laying and praying? Or are you throwing strikes? Are you trying to get clinch work in? Are you trying to get your takedowns finished? Are you throwing submissions? What are you doing on the ground? So this number kind of symbolizes, I don't know, not really symbolizes, but this number is kind of a gauge, rather, of that statistic. So 8.12 for Wu Yanan and 5.49 for Nico Montaño. So not great numbers from either of them, but Wu's is significantly higher. Submission and reversal data. Each fighter has thrown a submission. Wu Yanan was successful on that submission, and Nico Montaño, they've each had a submission thrown against them, and both have defended it. Both have one reversal in their fights, and Wu Yanan has a reversal against. Advanced significant striking data. We're not going to go through all these numbers. We're just kind of go through what stands out to us. Nico Montaño has a very good head strike landed per minute rate, 3.78, good for fifth in the division. She throws over 11 strikes to her opponent's head per minute, good for second, but she's only at a 34% accuracy there. What else stands out? Leg striking accuracy for Montaño, 90.91%. Leg strikes landed per minute, 1.25. Whereas the leg strikes landed against per minute for Wu Yanan is right about the halfway point of the division, maybe a little lower. Other than that, not much is sticking out to me at all. Let's go on to the advanced significant striking percentages. See what jumps out at us there. Both women pretty good at dispersing their strikes. Wu Yanan targets the body much more. Of the strikes that she throws, 70% are to the head, 19% to the body, 10% to the legs. Same numbers for Montaño, 83.5% to the head, 6% to the body, 10% to the legs. So Wu Yanan definitely targets the body a little bit more. And then below that is a graphical analysis of the statistics we just talked about. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to visualize if you can see the little Pac-Man, with the numbers next to it. So that's that. We'll go on to the last 5 fights, which we can actually skip because neither fighter has more than 5 fights in the UFC. And we will go on to the strength of schedule and the last 5 fight history. Let's see here. Wu Yanan has the much better strength of schedule for the most part. I guess I shouldn't say much better. They are pretty close. Opponent win percentage, 60.7% for Nico Montaño, 66.67% for Wu Yanan. 64 strength of schedule for Montaño, 67 for Yanan, 54 strength of victory. So she's beaten some people that aren't, don't have great records. And 55 for Wu Yanan, almost identical. Strength of defeat, 76 for Montaño, better than 68 for Wu Yanan, but nothing that really jumps out at me there. Pretty subpar all the way around. Every fight we've kind of talked about, these ladies and gentlemen have had pretty subpar strength of schedule numbers. So hopefully that'll improve as the card goes on. And there is the history rather for the UFC fights if you want to take a look at that. And lastly, we will scroll down to our graphical analysis of just a couple of categories here. The solid blue line is our fighter. Solid orange line is our fighter's opponents. The dashed lines are the trend lines. And the solid green line is our fighter's average for that category. Solid yellow line is their opponent's average over the last 5. You want to see the blue line over the orange. You want to see our fighters trending up in that category. And you want to see our fighters average the green line over the yellow. And we have exactly that here with Nico Montaño. The only downside is her opponents also trending up as far as significant strikes landed. So you'd like to see that down a little bit, but otherwise good numbers, good graph from Nico Montaño. Same thing with the takedown defense, almost exactly the same, and as well as the control time there. So we'll go over to Wu Yanan, trending up on all categories. Average is pretty close there. Takedown landed per 15 and takedown against. She is getting beat in that category, but she's barely trending up in that one. So we like to see that as long as you're not going down. You know, never like to see a fighter trending down. And then control time. This is a good one. She's trending up. Her opponents are trending down, and she's really evening out that control time percentage there. So that is going to be the statistical breakdown of Nico Montaño and Wu Yanan coming up on this weekend's card on ESPN. Fight night, Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. So everybody, make sure you do your fight tape. Statistics are not the end all be all to picking fights. You need to do your tape. This is meant to be a good companion piece for your film breakdown. With this and your breakdown combined, you will be able to make better picks. You will be beating the bookies, and you will have a much better time watching fights this weekend. UFC Fight Night, Hall versus Strickland. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one.